Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have an article as a follow-up of the bombardment that the Ukrainians conducted on uh, July 4th, destroying a military base in Ukraine, occupied Ukraine, and the Russians said that there are only a few people dead over there. But now we find out that's much more than a few people who were killed. So that happened, if you remember the Melitopol. That's the airfield where the Ukrainians hit, and supposedly there were some garrison of Russians over there. Now remember, this article comes from the New Voice of Ukraine, so it comes from their side, so the destruction must be major. If that would come from the Russian side, probably zero, as they reported in the other video. So this comes from July 5th, 2022, and this is the title. Russians suffer 200 dead, 300 wounded in attack on base at Melitopol airfield. At the moment, the invaders have left the airfield, the mayor said. The fire there hasn't been extinguished yet. And I'm quoting, there was a line of cars bringing the wounded near the military hospital, which the invaders established on the territory of the children's sanatorium, Fedorov said. I'm quoting again, the Russians also stole all the blood supplies from the hospitals. Now local residents have nowhere to go to get blood from for a transfusion if the need arises. According to the mayor, local collaborators are afraid to go to work after the destruction of the base in Melitopol. The strike of the armed forces of Ukraine forced invaders to actively move their bases and hide them in the belt of forest. In a belt of forest. Fedorov said there are 3 more enemy military bases in Melitopol, located next to residential buildings. The armed forces of Ukraine as well are well aware of them, but they understand that the invaders are using the civilians as human shields. Question: where is the Ukrainian army fighting? In Ukrainian cities, inside. So what are these guys talking about? I haven't heard Ukrainians fighting in the fields, on the beaches, in the fields, will never surrender. I never heard that. Everything is in the cities somehow, inside, within the cities. They did not do what the French did in the Second World War with Paris. You know, open city, no destruction, no people, nothing. Just leave it open, and they fought on the battlefield. Remember battlefield? So when you say this is a kind of like a little bit hypocritical here. None of these two things are good, okay? Neither the Russians nor the Ukrainians, I would say. But Ukrainians defend their land, so I would say, okay, yeah, you can find a kind of desperate moves, but on the other hand, those are your civilians and you expose them knowingly. You know that that's going to happen, and you expose them over there. All right. It says here that the armed forces of Ukraine early on July 4th attacked one of the 4 Russian military bases in temporarily occupied Melitopol, Zaporozhye Oblast. The enemy military base was completely destroyed after the attack, the Ukrainian military said. Well, 300 and 200, 200 wounded or 200 dead and 300, what was that? Yeah, 200 dead, 300 wounded. And they take all the blood from the hospital. So if they have over there a heart surgery or any kind of need for blood, they don't have it, right? What? Obviously, I don't know if that's accurate or not. If you are bad, you're bad, right? So the Ukrainians, it seems like they were successful in this bombardment attack, whatever you want to, however you want to call it. The Russians got hurt, and this is a follow-up of that article that I talked about on the 4th of July. So thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.